Yeah, no, he'll play, which is exciting for our footy club. You know, it's been a pretty long process post-season to firstly and foremost get Clayton healthy. And that has been a process, but it's one that we've undertaken as a footy club. We've addressed some things. We've gone about a process to get him to this point. It's not finished, but he's healthy, he's happy, he's ready. We're united and connected as a footy team, and that's been a big part of our summer. And he's a big part of that. So he's done everything we could have asked of him as a footy club to get himself into this position, and he's right to go.
If someone had said to you mid-January that Clayton Oliver would play against Sydney, what would you have thought back then?
Oh, there was no guarantees on anything. You know, there's certainly some doubts about whether he'd get himself to this position. He's worked incredibly hard with a lot of people, with a lot of support from people within our footy club, some external people, and got himself into a really healthy, happy place and fit. You know, he's looking really strong out there at training. He's looking strong in the match sims that we've had in the VFL, and you know, we should be sort of proud and celebrate where he's got to this point. But we know those challenges aren't finished. But we are united, we are connected, and he's a part of our footy team, and we're really proud of him.
Can you be more specific as to what he's addressed and what the club's addressed?
Not really. You know, I think there's been a lot of noise externally, and there's a lot of information that's already out there. But we've worked with the right people and the right program to get his health first and foremost in a place that is really healthy and happy. And we've been able to do that. He's come a long way, and you know, we're excited about him being back in our team.
What's he said to you, Simon, in terms of not wanting the games recently, but wanting to get back into the team and where he's at?
Oh no, he's just been going about his business, about building trust and respect back, you know, with the football club, with his teammates, and gone about that in a really positive way. He's embraced everything that's come his way about trying to get himself into this position. So, you know, we've had a few conversations about what that would look like, but there's been no guarantees along the whole way. It's been up to him to show us, and he's been able to do that.
How is he physically after a couple of VFL games in terms of running out a full AFL game in Redland?
Yeah, look, he's ready to go. If anyone knows Clayton, he trains incredibly hard, whether he's at the club or away from the club, and he's physically in a great position. He's done, you know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks of full training, you know, within our environment, and he's obviously had the 2 games as well. So he couldn't have done any more to be physically ready for the season ahead, and you know, he's ready to go.
It's been a busy off-season, obviously. Lots of stories that you probably wouldn't have enjoyed. How have you managed personally dealing with some of this stuff over the past few months?
Yeah, look, we have had challenges, but a lot of those challenges are in the past, and we've addressed them really early on in our pre-season, whether that be a finals exit, whether it be some of the challenges that we had in and around our footy club. They were addressed really early on. And what it's been about in the last sort of 4 months has been about looking forward, about what the opportunities are ahead of us and what we can actually achieve and do this season. So, as I said, we looked at our finals exits, about, you know, those things, about how we actually get better as a footy team, both on the field, off the field. And we've really been about looking forward at those opportunities. And you know, a lot of people want to look backwards. I've actually taken the rear vision mirrors off my car. I want to keep looking forward. And that's what we've done. That's what we're doing. We've addressed things. We're moving forward, and as I said, we're a pretty united and connected group. And hopefully, we'll be able to show that over the next few weeks.
What are some of the specifics that you addressed on the finals?
Oh, just, you know, some of the things about how we played, firstly, but also we've looked at the mechanics of how we play in those games. So you can't shy away. We've lent into everything. The four finals exits games in the last 2 years about how we play, where we need to get better in terms of our mechanics on the field, but also our dynamics, our behaviour, you know, what we really celebrate, reward on field, and especially when those pressure situations are be. And then, you know, it's been about that connection element. How connected can we be? Show the joy of the game and come out on top.
Max characterised those exits consecutively as embarrassing. Is that how you would characterise them?
Oh, they're not embarrassing. There's sometimes adversity that teams need to go through, and if you're prepared to look at them in that way, they give great opportunity that sit within it, and that's the approach we've taken. Clearly, when you lose 4 finals in a row, you need to actually lean into that and find a way to get better. So, you know, that's not on our mind right now. We've addressed it, but what's on our mind right now is obviously Sydney, and getting ourselves into a position throughout this year to address some of those things at the end.
Just as a wider club situation, your captain's been
No, I don't. I think we've had some challenges, yes, and we've been pretty open about those challenges with Joel and obviously in a different way, Clayton. But no, we haven't got a culture in that space. What we have got a culture of is of high performance, and that's what we've really gone after. Yeah, we've addressed the challenges that we've had, but we've also gone after what we really value, and that's high performing culture. And you'll see a team that will train really fiercely today, and hopefully you'll see a team on the weekend that plays that way as well.
Since more has come to light on Joel's situation in the last few weeks and months, have you sought to peel back the curtains and find more about what's going on in that space?
No, we can only deal with what's in front of us, and that's an investigation that's ongoing. Clearly, once we get all the information, we can address it. But right now, as we sit here today, that's all speculation. It's an ongoing investigation, and when we get more information, we'll let you know.
Have you spoken to Joel since I think at the time you said you'd want to give some distance? Have you sought to speak to him?
Yeah, I've spoken to Joel, and we've spoken that he's apologised in terms of his actions, and clearly there's a cleansing thing. What I do know is he's got a lot of support from this footy club, and has had the whole way through. So, as I said, this is an ongoing investigation. It'll play out in time, but yeah, all the people that are important have spoken to Joel.
Does Caleb Windsor make his debut, Simon?
He does. Caleb makes his debut. Blake Howes will play his first game for the footy club, and so will Jack Billings. So, we've got three guys there that are really exciting players for our footy club, and guys that I think our supporters will love to come and watch. So that's an exciting element for our footy club this weekend.
How's Harrison Petty going at the moment, and do you have a timeline on him?
He's probably still a few weeks away. He's tracking really well, but we want to try and set him up for the whole season. So he's probably still, 2 weeks away. Lockie Hunter's three to 4 weeks away. Shane McAdam's still 2 weeks away as well. So, and obviously, Cozzy Pickett won't play due to suspension. So, but we're trying to build all those guys into a position where they can, sustain the whole season, and we feel we're really confident in that.
There were 10 individual goal scorers against Carlton last week. Is that what you're looking for, that in terms of spread in attack this season?
Oh, I think that's what the good teams do. They don't rely on one player, one or two players. They share the load, and we've got some midfielders that like to get forward and hit the scoreboard. And when we've got that spread of goal kickers, we know we're playing really well, and we'll celebrate that. But we'll also celebrate the things that we're really good at in terms of our defensive nature of how we play.
Andrew McQualter working in the midfield. Some of the midfielders have said that it's a bit more attacking. They feel as though he's brought to the club. What has he brought to the club?
Yeah, look, he brings a lot of experience, clearly coming from Richmond. They're a pretty successful team over a long period of time, so he brings some IP in that space. And yeah, there's no question we've used some of that IP to lean into what we can do in certain phases of the game. And as I said earlier, we've lent into some of the things we need to get better at in terms of how we move the ball, how more efficient we are inside 50. And we will chip away at that. But our real challenge is to make sure we do celebrate what we're good at. And that's how we defend and how we win contests. And we've already seen in the 2 practice games so far, one where we didn't do that very well and we got beat, and the other one we did it exceptionally well and had some success. But Andrew's brought a wealth of experience. He's a really good coach that's certainly developing into a really fine coach in terms of how he goes about his business, and he's brought some ideas that will hopefully help us grow.
Just on assistant coaches more broadly, there were some figures last week that showed that their wages haven't gone back to pre-pandemic levels. The AFL executives had quite big raises. Do you think assistants are underpaid at the moment in local league?
Yeah, I do. I think they are in a position where, as an industry, we're thriving. I think we need to really look after our people, and I know it's something that everyone in the industry is looking at, to continue to look after our people that work incredibly hard. And obviously since COVID, we've been able to get back to some really good levels. So I think hopefully in time that'll look after itself in that space. But we need to make sure that we make this profession of coaching and being involved in elite sport, in elite football, something that people really aspire to and have a great career pathway forward to it. So I think if we continue to look at it in that light, they'll get rewarded accordingly.
What are you telling players at the moment about bumps and head contact after the Pal Pepper incident with Webster yesterday?
It's pretty clear. Don't do it. So we train our players around contest, and I've always said this for a long time, that there's really no need to bump unless it's, I'm not sure when you actually need to bump, other than it's in a one-on-one ground ball contest. I think it's more about tackling and doing that correctly, and making sure we're able to turn at the right time to tackle the right way. So we'll keep training our players that way, educating them, and clearly already we've seen so far, if you're going to choose to head down that path, you'll probably get in trouble.
Do you reckon they'll make an example, the AFL, of the Webster bump yesterday?
Oh, that's not up for me to really talk about.
Bump itself?
Oh, I think we all sit here as lovers of the game and think that, it was an incident you don't want to see in your game. So, I think all clubs have been educated on what that might look like. So, just let them play out the process from there.
Just on Angus Brayshaw, what does he do for your team leaving this footy club? How much flexibility will you lose by not having him on the park?
Oh, well, I've said this, before. You can't replace an Angus Brayshaw. He brings leadership, he brings versatility, he brings the toughness to your footy team. So we're going to need guys to step up in all those phases that we're talking about. So, we saw last week with Salem playing a bit more midfield time. That's an opportunity that presents itself to a guy like Salem or a Trent Rivers, throughout the season. So, from a leadership perspective, we're going to have to get everyone to step up. He brings an energy to our club, an energy to our team, and drives a standard that's really hard to replace. So, players will lean into that. They've spoken about it, and they want to make sure they honour Angus and the way that he's contributed to where this club's at in the right way. And he's going to be a big loss for us.
Is there a way of honouring him or some sort of tribute in the opening round?
We'll certainly, we're speaking internally about all those things of how we, build a legacy that can be with us for the year. We've got ongoing conversations with Angus about his involvement. We're just giving him some time at the moment to take some time away from the game before we, really put something a bit more formally in front of him. So we'll just take our time on that.
Just on the group being more connected, Chris Travel mentioned that as well in the off-season, that perhaps the last season they didn't feel as connected. You mentioned it here. Was there a moment in the off-season, a conversation or something that came about where you wanted to focus more on that connection?
Oh, well, I think if your off-field connection is really strong, it can really come out on-field, and that's been the real focus. Is what sort of relationships can we build? Can we build these deeper relationships? This element of joy and privilege to play the game that runs to a really deep level within our environment, and then it'll play out on-field with the role execution, the joy for one another's success, that real connection on-field and how they play. So. That's been a full summer of work, and it's a continuation of what we've been doing over the last few years, but just doing it a bit better.
You make a Sydney, Simon?
Oh, look, I think anyone that goes up to Sydney and plays Sydney at the SCG, they know what they're in for. They're a very competitive team. They defend the right way, and they play with great pressure. So, it's an exciting game to be a part of, opening round up at the SCG against the Swans. We know what we're up for, but we're looking forward to it.
Just on the concept of opening round, you see it being a permanent thing going forward. What do you think of the idea?
Oh, look, we're embracing it. It's we get a chance to play in the first game of the season with a lot of people watching our game. They're the type of games that you want to be involved in. So I'm sure it's going to be a great night for the game, and hopefully there'll be a lot of Australians watching it. Thank you. Thanks, guys.